welcome back. Today we are in our 38th country for our trip around the world. We are in the UK and today we are exploring Scotland.
Last 7 days we've been here in the UK. We spent just one day in London checking out all the main sites before heading out to the Lakes District to just really enjoy some family time because Sophia's family came all the way over from America to meet us here in the UK.
We had a great week together exploring London, exploring the Lakes District, but once they had to go back to the US, we continued on by renting a car out of Manchester and driving north as we do a little loop around Scotland. We are starting on the east side of the island where we stop by a beautiful castle as well as a very old abbey. Today we are picking back up in Lochness. We have a lot of driving today as we are also going to the Isle of Skye.
So after we get done today and tomorrow checking out the Isle of Skye, we are actually going to be going to Stirling where nearby there are Highland Games. We're hoping to see like a lot of the Scottish culture there and just really have a great time just like getting to actually like witness and experience those Highland Games.
So if you are looking to do the highlights of Scotland in a road trip, this vlog is for you. We are in the town of Lochness, currently walking on a trail to the lake where the famous Loch Ness monster was spotted. The legend dates back to a monk who said that he saw the Loch Ness monster in the 7th century. Then of course the 1930s roll around and we have a picture of the Loch Ness monster, and even tourists today claim they see dark shapes in the waters. We are headed out ourselves to see if we can spot Nessie in the lake today as we go through the west coast of Scotland.
Taking a pretty dangerous viewpoint here right on the shoreline here of Loch Ness. Don't know if I'm gonna get eaten or not, but as of now we have not seen any creatures swimming through the lake, just a boat. I don't think we're gonna see it today, unfortunately. Kidding, I'm fine.
So unfortunately, we did not see the Loch Ness monster. However, we did get to see some really pretty swans on the lake. What are you doing? What was that? Were you trying to scare me? Okay. Epic fail. Anyway, as I was saying, we saw beautiful swans swimming on the lake. It's a very calm lake, very peaceful this morning. So it's a nice little stop, but we are hitting the road as we drive across the top of Scotland and head over to the Isle of Skye. Looks absolutely beautiful, so we're just gonna enjoy Scotland today. So we just made it over to the Isle of Skye. It is so pretty. The drive over was about 3 hours. It was not that bad. Jordan is looking to pay for parking right now. The parking situation is kind of a nightmare. We're at one of the #1 hikes to do here in the Isle of Skye. Kind of have a makeshift spot on the side of the road right now. Cars are just circling like hawks looking for spots because there is not enough. Jordan went to 2 pay stations and it said that it wasn't working. You had to go to a different pay station, so he's walking over to a 3rd pay station right now, and then we're gonna hit the trail hiking once he's back and we have successfully paid for some parking. This area of Scotland is just so beautiful. All the hills are so green, there's cows everywhere, just such a pretty place. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to go hike now, about 4 miles. We are now out on the trail. It's windy, it's cold, but it's absolutely stunning out here.
So we're about a quarter of the way through the hike. It's called the Keyring Circuit. So we're gonna make like a giant loop where we'll be up on the cliffs back here behind us on the way back down. But this is like one of the most popular hikes in like all of Scotland. Most definitely the most popular hike here on the Isle of Skye. But yeah, even in like all of Scotland, this is one of the most popular hikes to go on. So far it has not disappointed. It is very busy, but we actually have like no rain right now. So what can you expect out here?
It's truly beautiful, and we are so thankful for all of these experiences. So we have made it to the top. There is this amazing cliff that like looks out over the ocean, and the pastures below, we can just see a bunch of sheep down there. You can see the ocean, you can see the little towns along the coast. It is just absolutely stunning. 10 out of 10. So thankful for this. This is truly amazing. So it's 4.6 miles later, and we are almost back to the car. Next, we are going to head to Kilt Rock and a waterfall, which is only about a 20-minute drive up the road. So that's what we're doing next.
Car started, which is great. We have definitely done a hike this year where we got back to the car and it didn't start. And that was really sad because much like today, we were out in the middle of nowhere. But today, car started and we're off to the next spot.
So the waterfall is absolutely beautiful, kind of tucked on the side of a rock. Super windy out here. But next we are headed to a castle, which should be beautiful. This whole coastline, sorry Jordan, it's just super beautiful to drive around and look at. Okay, Jordan, go.
The cliffs here are absolutely spectacular. Honestly, it was like a really cool, quick little stop. There's even people that were like saying they could see dolphins down in the water. They had like spotting scopes, binoculars. We did not see any, but still like a spectacular, quick little stop. All right, now we continue on.
Now to the castle. Right now we are scheduled to get there only 20 minutes before it closes, so I don't know if we're gonna make it. These roads are very narrow. A lot of them are just one lanes, very windy, lots of traffic. Let's see if we can make it.
Right now we are passing Old Man's Store, which is right over there. It's just like a very popular rock to stop at. I actually just saw there's a sign like half a mile of a parking lot so you can park and actually like go up to Old Man's Store. However, because we are already only like 20 minutes away from like the castle closing, we're just gonna keep going and look at it from our window. So unfortunately we got to the castle around 5:10 and they don't actually close until 5:30, so we thought we'd have about 20 minutes at the castle, but no, they don't even let anyone in past 5. So instead we drove just like a mile down the road and we have a great view of the castle down there. So we are saving ourselves like $30 by not actually going in and exploring it and just kind of viewing it from here. So the Isle of Skye kind of comes down to 2 points. Earlier our hike was over on the other point, now we're on the second point, and next we're actually going to go to like the very end point and see a lighthouse that looks just spectacular. We have now made it to our very last spot of the night, Nice Point, and right there behind me you can actually see the Nice Point lighthouse. It's one of the reasons we came all the way out here is just because it looks so cool. I'm just completely surrounded by just the most gorgeous cliffs. It is our last stop of the night. Tomorrow morning we're going to make one more stop here in the Isle of Skye, which is the ferry pools. It's one of the most popular spots, so we wanted to get there early in the morning because like we've already found issues with parking just because this is such a popular area to come check out in Scotland. So tomorrow morning we're going to do that first before continuing on our road trip through Scotland down to Stirling.
The water down there is like glowing blue. It looks as blue as the Mediterranean. Perfect way for us to end this day in Scotland. It is now the next day. We went and spent the night at an Airbnb just outside of the Isle of Skye, kind of island. The Isle of Skye is connected by one bridge only. Unless you take a ferry, there's only kind of one bridge in and one bridge out. But right now we got up early and we drove to what is called the ferry pools. So this is just a sequence of a bunch of little like pools that have a very bright, beautiful color, lots of little waterfalls. There's just one path that kind of goes out here. So it's not crazy hiking at all. I'm just wearing Birks. Oh, you can't see it. But I'm just wearing Birkenstocks this morning out here because it's more of a walk than a hike, and just a bunch of beautiful little pools that are all connected together. So it's a nice little stop. Very busy spot too. Again, the roads are not very nice coming out here, but it's worth it once you're here. So there is a lot of people wearing nets over their faces because there's a lot of bugs out here. So hopefully we don't leave with too many bug bites from this spot.
So after we get done checking out these ferry pools, we're gonna drive over to an area called like the Glencoe region, and there we're gonna go check out the Glenfinnan viaduct. It looks really cool. So we're excited to continue on our road trip through Scotland.
In true Scotland fashion, it started raining on us. So we're gonna book it back to the car and go to our next destination, drive 3 more hours further south to the aqueduct.
And hopefully we drive out on this rain.
It is now a few hours later and we have driven all the way over to the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is an amazing bridge that the railway runs on. We've seen so many beautiful bridges actually while we've been driving around Scotland. This one is famous because it is really tall, it has the arches, and it's curved. Right now we are on a 2-kilometer trail, I believe. Maybe it's a little longer than that, through the woods. Because the main parking lot was completely full, parking all along the road was full, but we found free museum parking with this beautiful woodland trail that leads us down to the railroad. So that is what we are currently hiking on.
All right, so we can already see the viaduct. However, unfortunately, we still have quite a ways to go, but it's kind of a nice day out. It's not raining right now. We had been driving for 3 hours and it's pretty much raining that entire time. So we're very happy that it stopped just for us for this little hike.
So we got to what we think is the viewpoint. I can't really tell because there's literally fence everywhere. You can tell that people actually climb over this fence, which we did not do because you can get a penalty. But you can kind of get the best viewpoint from here of the bridge down below. But like I said, there's not really a good break in the fence to see it. And we don't really want to hike all the way down because we can see it from up here. We also missed the train going by I think about an hour. It supposedly goes by a few times a day. I think it's a Hogwarts train that you can like buy a ticket to go on, which would be so beautiful. However, we did not line up the times perfectly today, so we're not going to see it, and different places say different times, so I cannot verify exactly what time of day it goes by. So yeah, I think we're going to call it a day for today because we don't want to wait 2 hours for a train to potentially pass. So that's all for today. It is now the next day and we are in Stirling and we are at the Highland Games. We've already seen someone in a kilt, so I think it's gonna be good. This is also the area where the movie Braveheart was filmed. So much history here. We are actually staying in an Airbnb that is the oldest inhabited home in the whole town, which is pretty crazy. It was like a pub for 160 years and the current owner changed it into an Airbnb and their own home. So there's a lot of castles, a lot more like medieval things to check out in the neighborhood where we are staying, the Stirling Castle. So I think we're gonna check that out tomorrow morning, but we are here at the Highland Games. We just got parked. They have a huge grassy field for people to park in. We bought our tickets online. So yeah, I think it's time to go start checking it out and see what events are going on here.
second place. That in a time of 9.48 seconds. We'll just bring confirmation as we're measuring up here after 16 pounds. Typically between clans, further north than here of course.
This is how you do it.
50 machine.
The donut man
Yeah.
is back.
How good is it?
Hot, warm, fresh. So much sugar on it. Just falling everywhere.
So watching the Highland Games was super fun, but now we just stopped by our Airbnb, we got freshened up, and next we're headed to a Scottish pub called the Portcullis to try to get some dinner. We haven't had very much luck in Scotland finding authentic Scottish food, as many of the pubs don't serve food, they only serve alcohol. So we've actually eaten a lot of Indian food, which we really can't complain because we absolutely love Indian food. However, we do want to try some more Scottish dishes. So we are trying again to try to go get some food. We've also gone to a couple places where they said that they don't serve past 8. So fingers crossed we can get some food tonight. So I'm happy to say that we successfully got dinner at a Scottish pub, which was the Portcullis, that has been open since the 17th century, which is absolutely crazy. And it's kind of tucked in up here by the old castle, the Stirling Castle, which we are actually going to be checking out tomorrow morning.
I got myself a steak pie, which did not really come out as I was expecting. I was honestly like expecting to be like cooked almost like in pie form. Instead, it was just like almost like a roast beef in a bowl with a very delicious biscuit on top. And then of course there were some peas, carrots, very classic for this region I think, and then some French fries, or chips as they call them.
So we're just walking around the old town now to finish out our day here in Scotland. It's absolutely beautiful, and we'll be up early tomorrow to check out the castle. So it is now the next morning, which is our last full day in Scotland, which is really sad because it's gone super fast. But right now we are at the Stirling Castle, a castle that was inhabited around the 1500s with King George V, famously Queen Mary of the Scots. And right here behind me is Queen Mary's garden. It's absolutely beautiful. We're just gonna walk around the grounds today before we head back to take our car back to Manchester before we fly to Dublin. So we just finished up our time at the Stirling Castle.
It was honestly way bigger than we thought it was going to be. We should have given ourselves way more time. Instead, we only had like an hour, hour and a half. But truly, I think we could have spent 2 or 3 hours pretty easily in there just like checking it out because it's so big.
So unfortunately, this is the end of our road trip here in Scotland, because now we are dropping off our car in Manchester, where we're gonna catch a flight over to Dublin to start our Ireland road trip. We hope you enjoyed this little taste of what a road trip around Scotland can look like. We wish we had way more time. It was pretty crazy, but we really enjoyed Scotland. And yeah, we will see you in Ireland.